And we get to share clothes.
Yay! Hi, I'm Meg. Welcome to Plant Fit Meg.
Hi, I'm Meg's husband, Chris.
So today we're going to do a video talking about our 100-pound weight loss. Woo! Yay! So between the two of us, we have lost over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd talk a little bit about how we lost the weight and how that's gone.
How it feels good and
Yeah.
all that stuff, health-wise especially.
Yeah. So I initially went plant-based for my health and changed my diet and switched things up for health reasons. But I did know that I would lose weight in the process, and I was happy that I would lose weight in the process because I've been one of those people who, like many people, who has struggled with their weight. It's gone up and down and all around over the years. So I've tried to lose weight many times in the past with varying degrees of success, and I would often cut carbs, reduce my portion sizes,
Exercise like a maniac.
exercise like crazy, like go nuts at the gym, just take a million dance classes, try to just move my body as much as humanly possible. And, you know, that would be successful weight loss. You know, I'd keep it up for a few weeks, maybe a month,
a couple months, maybe
a few months.
Yeah.
I'd lose some weight. Yay! I lost some weight. And then go back to my old ways of eating processed food and maybe not moving my body as much. And
Humpty Dumpty chips.
Yeah. And I would inevitably regain the weight and more often than not gain more than what I had lost. So over time, the trend of my weight was upwards.
For me, I've always been a relatively small guy. I'm about 5'7", and I've, always been about 120 to 130 pounds for the longest time. And then,
don't you just hate this guy?
Yeah, most people hate that. I'm the guy that goes to the sale rack and always finds the small because, it's just how it goes. But, I've always been relatively small, like I was saying. So when we had Riordan, our son, we were 30 years old, and Meg was pregnant, and I gained weight. And, a lot of new parents, men, fathers, whatever, go through that. My dad was always like, oh yeah, it's, how it goes. Over 30, you're going to start packing them on, or you have a kid and you pay a little bit less attention maybe to yourself in terms of self-care. So I gained, over a couple of years, I gained about 30 pounds, which for somebody of my frame and build and having been used to holding about 120 pounds worth of weight my entire life, it seemed quite intense. It really did. I had to buy all new pants, which really cheesed me off. Anyways, that was a big impact for me. And then when Meg decided that she was interested in going into a vegan, plant-based style of eating, I wasn't fully on board. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna go full in on this with her. She had made the decision. It was a night and day thing. It was one day next, and she was into it. For me, I was more gradual. Yeah. It took me, I would say, about 4 months of kind of eating plant-based at home all the time, because that's how Meg was eating. That's how we were feeding our child. But outside of home, I was still eating a lot of kind of junkier things that weren't, definitely were not vegan.
Mac attacks.
Yeah, I'd go through Mac attacks. I'm a big pepperoni and cheese pizza person.
You were.
Or was, and now I do my own version of that, which is phenomenal. Yeah. So over the time period of about 4 months, I graduated into full vegan, plant-based style eating.
Yeah, so in the first year of being vegan, I lost about 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, it was somewhere in the neck of about 15 to 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Over that first year.
And I'd love to say that in the following year, I lost a little more weight, and then we lost a little more weight, and we were super healthy. But that's not the way that our
reality didn't play that way.
Our life did not pan out that way. And for most people, it's not a linear process when you're losing weight. It's not like you start losing and then you just continue to lose and lose and lose and lose without ever going off track or ever having, you know, times when your weight goes up. So we want to let people know that it's common and it's okay to go off track and things happen. When I first went plant-based, I was fairly committed to being as whole food as possible. I did eat minimally processed stuff very regularly, like pasta and bread and things like that. But I was really staying away from any packaged vegan foods or junk foods and stuff like that. And over time, gradually, those things eked their way back into our diets for convenience and to not put people out and various reasons. And you can go check out my story. We'll have it linked below for more information specifically about that. But yeah, we kind of went off track a little bit. I went off track a little bit. Chris wasn't really committed to
I wasn't on track to begin with.
At the time, So we went off track. I have had health issues for a long time and would have flare-ups. And I had a particularly bad flare-up in the fall of 2019. And at that point, on the recommendation of a plant-based doctor, I decided to try Dr. Goldner's hypernourishing protocol. I was dealing with chronic pain, chronic fatigue, asthma, and endometriosis. So I did that for a while, lost a bit of weight doing that. My health greatly improved, and I was really excited about that. And since then, I have gone back to a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet.
Yeah. I would say I'm quite close to how Meg eats in terms of a whole food, plant-based, and oil-free. I still eat things like bread and pastas. They're things that I haven't been able to say no to.
I eat them on occasion.
Yeah.
I don't look at those foods as bad foods.
No. And it's always a bit of a learning curve. Meg was saying earlier that when we kind of went through the phase of getting back into more processed things, kind of earlier days, I would attribute that to a degree, just the learning curve of how to eat a plant-based diet. You know, you kind of fall back into those convenience foods, those processed foods, mainly because you're still kind of growing into what's going to become your regular diet. And that's okay. I guess my main point there is to say it is quite common that people will relapse. They'll kind of go back into things that might not be the best options for them. But don't get discouraged. Don't lose that flow. You'll kind of find your way back to it, assuming that you keep yourself on task, more or less.
Yeah, for sure. And it can be difficult to get back on track once you've been eating those processed foods for a while, because you get addicted to them and they taste good, they're salty, they're fatty, they have that combination of
all those evolutionarily needed things.
Yeah, it's the most calorie dense thing in the environment. It's what you're going to seek out if it's in your environment. So get it out of your house. Preferably, if you can, depending on what your situation is, who you live with, and what they're consuming and all of that. Anyway, so I've lost a total of 78 pounds since I first went plant-based. Yay! And I've lost about 35 pounds in the last year, since really committing to a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet.
For me, kind of over the course of everything since I originally started putting on weight at about 30, we're now 35 for perspective timeline wise. I've lost approximately 30 to 35 pounds, and it kind of varies a couple pounds here and there. Thank you. For me, it was extremely noticeable. Like I said, I'm a relatively small person to begin with, so it felt like a very big achievement in terms of a weight loss. For me, like we were saying, it took me a while to get fully into having a plant-based diet. But I think what really kept my weight on kind of longer term, because when I had gained a little bit of weight in the past, it would go away again really quickly.
Yeah.
There are some vices that I've had. For instance, they're accidentally vegan, but spicy Doritos were something that
Dangerous.
I was highly addicted to for a long time. I like to play a lot of late night video games, and I'd be sitting there with my bag of Doritos, and I mean, it would be like a bag a night. So it really kept some weight on, and
a bag a night will do that to you.
Yeah, a bag with a couple bottles of beer, that sort of thing. It keeps it on. It really does. So things for me that really were the turning point were to kind of stay away from more processed, for sure. I would say I'm primarily off of processed foods all around, with the exception of things like bread and pasta. But in my mindset, I don't think of those as unhealthy or heavily processed foods. When I say heavily processed, I'm thinking of things like the vegan meat replacement type products. So you'll see kind of tofu or other based products that replicate hamburgers or sausages or sandwich meats. These sorts of things I did for a while, and they didn't make me feel particularly great. It was more a taste thing at that time, and I used them kind of as a stepping stone to move away from meat products altogether. But now when I want a burger, we do our own burger patty recipe that we found in one of our books, and it is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's Dr. Greger's black bean burger
Yeah.
recipe. I'm pretty sure he has it online as well. We have his How Not to Die cookbook, but if the recipe is available online, I'll definitely link it below as well.
Yeah. So just to kind of transition, one of those things that I said was I had those habits of my Doritos at night or whatever it was, and it's just a big thing for me was changing those habits and kind of incrementally doing it. It was, okay, this night I'm playing my video games with my friends online. Instead of having 2 beer, I'm going to have 1 beer, right? And then slowly negating those things out of my habits and rituals. So now when it's an evening and I want to do those things, because it's still my hobby, I enjoy doing it and that social aspect to it. When I'm sitting and playing, I'm eating grapes, or I'll do peanut butter and banana, and it's the all natural peanut butters. Yeah. Or it's all water now. I think the only time I really have beer in recent history anyway is if we're kind of socializing, and Megan's changed a lot of her habits as well.
Yeah, I am definitely a snacker. For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I want to really impress upon the audience the level of snacking. I say, a bag of Doritos. I might have been exaggerating a little bit. Megan is a snacker at heart.
Yeah, I used to be one of those people that would just constantly be thinking about food all day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's for lunch? What's for my next snack? What's for dinner? What am I going to eat after dinner? Yeah. I need something salty. Oh, I need something sweet. Oh, I need something salty again.
Yeah.
Oh, I need something sweet again.
We would be hanging out, relaxing at night, and we'd be talking or, playing a game, watching a TV show, whatever it was. And it literally felt like she would have a snack. She would come to the sofa or whatever, and she'd have a small container of chips, let's say. Okay? And then this is pre-plant-based Meg, okay? And then, she'd finished off the chips, and I'm like, okay, cool, we're gonna sit and, chill out, and she's had her snack and all. No.
Yeah.
She'd be up like 10 minutes later, and it would be the sweet, here's 3 Oreos. No big deal, right?
I wasn't done yet.
No. And then the 3 Oreos would end, and then somehow she'd come back with I don't know if you guys know of these, but you can get microwavable, dough-based pretzels that you kind of water and salt yourself. So she'd come back with a couple of those.
That was a thing for a while.
It was a thing. Anyway, so it wasn't just like, hey, I'm gonna have a snack at night and be done with it. There was a habitual pattern, which I know was a big hurdle for Meg, to kind of either change the habits, and meaning snacking less, but also I think what's really worked for her anyway, in my perspective, is that she's gone from having those really kind unhealthy, non-plant-based style snacks and having several of those throughout the night. Whereas I can say last night it was a cup of chai tea with some non-dairy milk. I think it was almond milk. And then she came and got a bowl of mango and pineapple mixed together out of the freezer, microwaved it for a few seconds, and had that with a fork.
I do still snack sometimes.
Not all the time, but
most evenings I do have at least one snack after dinner. But that's okay. It's usually fruit, or it's a healthy snack that I've prepared at home. It's a homemade, whole food, plant-based, oil-free, vegan snack.
Yeah, like we make a point to keep some of those things on hand because we know that we enjoy it, but we also want to, make sure that we're nourishing ourselves and taking care of ourselves and not necessarily putting those things in our bodies that we've had issues with in the past.
Yeah.
So we try to keep some things on hand, like tons of fruit, always. Like if you were to do a little snapshot of our crispers and our fruit bowl, it's loaded. Like it's, grapes, apples, bananas, clementines. We keep frozen foods on hand, so frozen mango, frozen pineapple, mixed berries, these sorts of things, just as snack options. And then Meg often will make things like homemade muffins, for instance, or we do this oat banana cookie option, energy bites, those little balls that are so good. Those sorts of things.
Yeah, so it's really about changing your routines and your habits. And over time, it gets a lot easier. So if you had told me a couple years ago that I'd be snacking on fruit and energy bites and I'd be happy with that, I wouldn't have believed you. I'd be like, no, I need, chips and chocolate and who knows what else, right?
Yeah.
Unless I'm on a diet, then I'll be good, but otherwise... my thought was that, I would have
these are the snacks.
That was just what I did. It's not even that I consciously thought about it. It was just what I did and how I lived my life.
Yeah. Other things to kind of help with people that want to have the benefit of not only having better health as a result of going vegan and plant-based, but also just to really help yourself make sure that you're getting all the nourishment that you possibly can while still feeling like you're full and you feel satisfied and you have the energy and the fueling. Think of it, food is more of a fuel for your body. What you have at your meal times obviously is going to play a big role, right? So for me, like I mentioned before, I'm still kind of heavy on carbs and starches. But my plate comes out and, a third of it is green vegetables, right? Yeah. And then another third of it is usually some sort of grain or starch type product. And then I have another vegetable or bean or lentil based dish, sometimes a tofu dish. But it's cut into thirds for me. And I make a point to say, okay, I'm going to have, that grain starch type thing, that tofu bean lentil type thing. And then just straight up cruciferous, that's a difficult word for me, type green vegetables. So whether it's having kale, spinach, other greens, I love broccoli. I do broccoli kind of every meal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I've taken to doing a 50-50 plate. I read Dr. McDougall's Maximum Weight Loss book. I don't completely subscribe to everything that he recommends there. However, I have taken on board the 50-50 plate. So I eat half of my plate is green or non-starchy vegetables, and then the other half of my plate is starchy veggies, starches like beans, grains, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Overall, guys, probably the biggest win for me, aside from, regaining what body was like in high school. Literally, my 18-year-old body is now my 35-year-old body.
I weigh less now than I did in high school.
Yeah.
What?
And it's pretty crazy for us. We've been together since we were 17.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. We're coming up to our 18th year being together. But when I met Megan, she was a larger person than she is today. And like I was just saying, I'm back to the same body type and size I had when I was 18, which is crazy. I don't feel like there are a lot of people around our age that are comfortable enough to say that they've done that. So it's really the health benefit, the energy benefit. Like with our son, he's 5, so I love to be able to be active with him, right? So to be outside and run around with a kite for a few hours, or playing soccer with him, or going on the scooters, or whatever it is, to be able to just do those things and it not feel like I'm really expending any real energy. You know, I'm not winded when I'm running a block down the road to catch up to him on his scooter. That's really, really nice for me.
Yeah, we're both feeling so healthy, healthier than we ever have in our whole lives. And so energetic, and we have a zest for life. I like to say that we have a zest for life that we didn't have in the past.
Yeah, you kind of start thinking of how can we go on an adventure, do something fun, and those ideas of what is fun have now changed because our energy levels and our willingness to want to do those things is changed as a result.
For sure. Another point about that is we used to eat out at restaurants for meals quite a bit, and we used to order takeout quite a bit, and we don't do that anymore. I know for some people it's a social thing, and it's
habitual mostly.
It's a habit. It's really fun. For us, we got to the point where eating out wasn't fun anymore.
It just wasn't making you feel.
We didn't feel good.
Yeah, I think our body, or my body in particular, I know, became so accustomed to eating, I'll say, a clean diet.
I don't like the word clean.
I was trying to find the right word there.
But a whole food, plant-based,
I shouldn't say
diet.
Clean. That's a weird one. Just a diet that was making us feel the best that we could feel. Right?
Optimal diet.
Yeah, optimal. That's a good word. Optimal diet. So your body becomes accustomed, or minded anyway, to that.
So did mine.
Optimal diet. So anything that kind of falls outside of that, like you can order a pizza and it, technically speaking, is vegan.
It is.
Right? There, you can get it without dairy, no eggs, no meat products, and that kind of qualifies into it, which is
super cool that people have that option and can order vegan pizza and have vegan products. I think that's a great option, especially for people who are just transitioning, or for an occasional thing if you want to have processed food from time to time. But for us, processed food just isn't worth it.
General marketing has been great, like to say these things are available in the marketplace.
It's awesome.
But when we eat them, we don't feel as good. There's no need to go into details. Your body just doesn't feel as good as it does as when you're eating your, quote, optimal diet. So we've just stopped doing it because it didn't feel good anymore.
Yeah. And it saves money.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
And we found other fun things to do. So it might seem odd to not go out for meals, especially if you're very accustomed to doing so. But we found other ways to have fun together, and fun with family, fun with friends. Obviously, things are a little different now with the pandemic and with rules, surrounding that.
Now when we do a date, we go out and we do an activity, and we usually do something like a coffee house or a smoothie date with these sorts of things. So the weather's kind of crummy, you go out and you do a bookstore wander, which is something we're dorks. We really like doing. But if the weather was decent, we would go for a walk along the waterfront instead. And there's a lot of great options there. Meet up with friends and family at a park.
Yeah, so it doesn't always have to be about food.
Yeah.
If you want to go out for a meal, by all means, go enjoy. Don't feel bad or feel guilty about it. Go enjoy your meal out and have fun with it. But if you don't want to eat out, we're at a point where we don't really have a desire to eat out, and sometimes there's a bit of social pressure to do so. We're not going to do it right now.
Yeah.
Not to say that we'll never go out for a meal, or that we'll never, never go for a dinner out at some point, but right now it's just not desirable
because
it affects our health and how we feel. So there are a few other things that helped us with our weight loss and with our health journeys. One of them is eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. So the eating when you're hungry point is more for this guy, and the stopping when you're full point is more for me. So
it's weird because we have very split mindsets on this. I don't understand continuing to eat when you're full. Like, it just, how did you even...
Yeah.
It doesn't compute for me.
That's why it's good that we make these videos together. Because we have different perspectives.
Wildly different.
And you might connect with people.
Yeah.
So I was someone who definitely would eat past satiation. I didn't even really know what satiation was, feeling full. I was just always stuffed with food, I guess.
I don't know how you do it physically. I mean,
if the food tasted good,
you would just keep going.
I would
but
just
there's no space. Like, physically, the anatomy side of... Okay, my perspective
is... weight gain.
Yes, yes. I'm terrible for not eating when I should eat. So I still to this day fall into the trap of, I wake up in the morning, I'm half asleep, I have coffee. I don't even really focus on breakfast most days, which I don't really feel hungry. My body, like, I don't mentally or physically get to a point where I'm saying, yeah, I feel hungry, until I'm real irritable.
Ravenous.
That's like 2 in the afternoon.
Hangry.
Yeah, it's like 2 in the afternoon. I'm raging out because I haven't eaten anything all day.
Yeah.
So I really try to consciously make an effort to say, these are meal times. I should have a little something here, here, and here, so that 1, I don't rage out. And 2, it's just better for your overall health and well-being and digestion and all these things.
Yeah. And for me, I did do a structured approach for a little while and found that I would get into the habit of eating at those structured times, whether I was hungry or not, because I have sort of the opposite issue as Chris does. So for me, I have a less structured meal time, I would say. I do really try to listen to my body, and if I'm hungry, I eat. I stop when I'm full, and then I wait until I'm hungry again. I don't necessarily look at the clock and say, oh, it's 12 o'clock, I need to eat lunch immediately.
I have to do that, otherwise I won't.
Right.
And then another big part of that, right, is when you are eating those meals, to be able to focus on things that are fuel and energy giving for your body, and give you that feeling of, okay, I'm feeling strong, good, satisfied, and energized, ready to go.
Yeah, so we eat food that we love the taste of.
Oh yeah.
For sure. However, we're very focused on nourishing our bodies with foods that are nutritious, good for us, healthful, colorful, all those things.
Bottom line tip, as many colors as you can get in, that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like we were saying before, making sure that it's nutrient rich as well, right? So
eating for fuel and fitness, and focusing on nourishing your body so that it can do all the things that you want it to do.
Yeah.
For me, that's running and doing calisthenics and having a lot of fun with fitness and things like that. For Chris?
Yeah, I like cycling quite a bit. And the really big thing for me is, like I mentioned before, having that ability to do whatever I want with our son or with Meg and not feel as though it's any physical strain, right? Really, that's a big, big win.
Yeah, for sure. Our focus is really on health, and the weight loss, as fun as it is and as nice as it is to not be carrying around an extra 78 pounds.
30, 35.
Yeah. It's really about health.
And what your body's functionality is, what your body is capable of doing, is really the focus. It's not as though I'm, in front of a mirror going, oh yeah. It's more, well, it's true. It's more about, I feel good, we feel healthy, and our bodies are more capable than they were previously.
Yeah, and I would say for us, weight loss was a side effect. So for some people, weight loss is the goal. Weight loss is why they change their diets and change their fitness and do things differently. And that's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
For us, it was very much, let's get healthy.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. We want to have longevity and energy and feel good and strong.
Yeah.
And really, I would say the weight loss was a happy side effect of changing things up and getting healthy.
Yeah. The goal is to live to be 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Megan's very, very passionate on that one.
Yeah. We want to live to be 100.
Yeah.
In very happy, healthy, not going down the path of disease.
Yeah. I'd love to be 90 and walk 5 kilometers and it's no big deal.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
I've lost a total of 78 pounds.
And I've lost a total of 35 pounds.
So in total, we have lost 113 pounds as a couple. We're both feeling great, feeling energized, ready to take on life.
Yeah.
Have fun.
And we get to share clothes.
Yay! So if you'd like to see more from us, you can subscribe below, like this video if you liked it, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.